Yes, what's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel, and yes, the day is here. We are doing Tory Lanez, the new Toronto 3. This is the follow-up to the new Toronto 2, which came out in 2017. So it's been 3 years since the follow-up, but we did get Chicks tape. I believe it was 4 that came out at the end of last year, which was decent. But I'm not gonna lie, some of them old R&B flips made into new tunes, apart from maybe like Jerry Sprunger or maybe like 1 or 2 others, I personally didn't think that was a great tape. That being said, in this lockdown period, this Don has been moving mad. Right now, you have an IG account. He doesn't. Now, leave it at that. My guy's been doing the absolute most on quarantine radio, which is basically his radio show on IG Live. It's not even a radio show. And he has been, first he was hollering at bare artists like Drake, Wiz Khalifa. He had T.A.I.N on there. He was doing the most, innit? Now he's got girls twerking, and there's this whole gummy bear incident that probably got him banned in the first place. But he is back on the 14th. I think that's when the ban comes out. People were even saying that Tory Lanez is an essential worker because he was like providing that much enjoyment to the whole situation. But in the grand scheme of events for Tory, I mean, it's been a great kind of rollout for him. I mean, the solidification of Canadian artists basically dominating global music is there. Obviously, we had The Weeknd that dropped a tape about a couple of weeks ago. Drake dropping Tootsie Slide, Tory Lanez dropping this one, Justin Bieber. That Yummy song was trash, but he's still one of the biggest pop acts in the world. And Tory Lanez is coming back with this one. Now, I hope it's good. I hope it's good because he's going to have more people locked in right now because of quarantine radio. And it's perfect rollout. Absolute perfect rollout. Sacrificing your IG account for an album makes the most sense to me if you're going to be moving mad, especially in these times where this situation is like once in a generation. So his rollout has been successful with the limited tools that he's had. He's made it enjoyable for thousands, if not a couple million people. Also, this is important because he's actually free from his record label. I believe that's Interscope as of this tape, which makes him an independent artist. Now, he's gassed on that. Man's already took to Twitter and said, listen, I'm free. I'm doing what I want. However, is he going to sign a deal with someone else? That's what we need to know, because screaming freedom on Twitter is one thing, but signing a deal, as long as it's a better deal than the one you just had, that is the main thing. The tape is 16 tracks long, so it kind of fits in that middle to long ground, the tapes. I'm expecting singing, I'm expecting rapping, because I'm not sure which Tory Lanez I like more. When he raps, like when he was doing that madness on Diego. Back in the day, I went to Brixton Academy, yeah, and saw him. This is like 2015, 16 times. My guy was doing Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, jumping up. If you've ever been to a Tory Lanez show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But he just climbs all over the place and crowd surfs. I don't know what goes through that Don's mind, but shout out him, but it's a madness, because sometimes I'm looking at him like, health insurance. Have you got that? Because if you don't, this could go left. Because you might be, yeah, I've literally saw him get dragged up by someone. I'm thinking, you're lucky that person's strong, because you're going with someone who ain't got no biceps and no triceps. You're getting down, fam. You're getting down. Oh yeah, I've got to say as well, usually we just do the review, but today we might do a little reaction thing. I don't know if it's going to go well. We're going to have to ride the storm and see what's going on. I ain't one to be moving too hyper and doing the most when it comes to reactions. I like to sit down and lock in. So we'll see how gas this tape gets me, judging by how many reactions you guys see throughout this video. All right, track number 1 is called Pricey and Spicy.
Talk to me nation.
It's building nice, you know, I can't lie.
Back on road.
The way it starts, the way the whole tape starts, one track in, so far so good. You've got an orchestral element in the background, and you've got him going, talk to me nicely. And it don't sound like that, but it's good. It's actually very, very good. I like the way it starts. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Diego style, where he kind of raps and you've got the little kind of echo at the end of kind of each sentence and bar. But so far, one track in, I ain't moaning and I ain't complaining. Track number 2. Yo, that screaming behind the scenes is working. That little... Track number 2 is called The Coldest Playboy, and I'm enjoying it again. Now, this one sounds more like... It sounds a bit like an outro. It sounds something like you'd hear at the end. You're kind of getting into it. The track time is very short. It's only 2 minutes. But again, in the first track, we had orchestral elements that worked very, very well. In this one, we have this like singing in the background that kind of allows you to kind of get lost in that, but at the same time listen to what he's saying. But for the most part, again, very solid track.
I just want to say from the
Like Conor McGregor.
I'd like to take this chance to
What is man like Conor doing on the tape?
to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants. About to go stupid again. She out the roof of the bed. I'm about to do it again. I'ma fuck two of her friends. Live on the rock. Fuck the frame mule. I re-up, but I got it right back and I do it again. Hey, back from the bricks. Back so listen.
Yep, there was. We hit him with a shoulder lead. Listen. 3 out of 3 for me so far. This one is good again. It's more reminiscent of what I'd expect something like the Migos to be over. Like, I could hear Offset drop at the very end of this song and it would have been crazy because Tory Lanez is doing that kind of stagger thing with his flows like I mean, again, there's lyrics, insert lyrics here, but you know what I'm trying to say. I feel like, again, it's a very good track. It does fit in with the theme, so it looks like 3 out of 3 songs so far we're getting the rap Tory Lanez. I expect some singing and some more like melody-driven music to come as we go through further out the tape. But again, good song. Could have heard a feature on it. Remember, there's only Lil Tjay and Mansa on that. I don't even know if Tory Lanez is called the Migos because you know these things chop and change all the time. I know it's called Quavo, but Offset would have killed that one. I can't lie to you. All right, track number 4 is called F, and you know what the rest is. There we go. Melody driven straight away, as I say it. I don't know if it's just me, but man sounds a bit like a baby on this one. I could give Elizabeth 10 what up. Say, I don't even want to say the lyrics because I'm getting demonetized anyway. Good song. Mansa's feature was cool. Not gonna lie, there was a part where it switched up and it sounded like a baby. It sounded like some sort of rugrat going on, and I was like, is this Tory Lanez? Is this Mansa? Who the hell is this? Because it don't sound right, but at the same time, it sounded good. So far, I got no negative things to say about this tape. It's a very solid project so far. Now we're into the melody driven. I'm expecting that to continue as time goes on. I don't expect it to just stay at rap now or go back to rap, because I'm liking the way we're kind of flowing between the tracks right now, because some people's albums, they move long and it just goes from chill to crazy to then back to chill, and it's like, big man or woman, relax. Cohesiveness. Who's reviewing your album? But so far, this one's good. So let's get into the next track. Why have you gone back to rap already? It's not mad at it. But why again? What? No. That's rude. That's rude. That's actually rude. Man said she didn't have, so I bought, no, that's rude. That's actually rude, but I mean, the flow's impeccable right now, so I can't even be mad at it. I'm just saying that particular bar, that's kind of rude still. That was kind of rude, Tory. I felt like it dragged on a little bit too long because I feel like Tory's in his bag, but maybe throughout this tape, what we're going to be missing, what Chick's tape was and was overloaded with features, maybe with this tape, it's going to be lack of it, because I felt after about 2 minutes for me, I started getting a little bit bored. Whereas the other songs were quite quick, punchy in and out. This one's about 3 minutes. I feel like, and I know they've collabed bare times already, but Meek Mill on this would have killed it. Would have absolutely killed it. Like, if he came in and did, basically, I feel like Tory's almost rapping in that Meek kind of style. And if Meek had jumped on this track and rapped for like a minute in the middle, maybe between the 1.5 to 2.5 minute bit, this would have been a shutdown for me. I would have probably had this on reload. The review might have had to end here. Everyone's there. But so it's all right. It's a good song, but it just felt like it dragged on a little bit too long for me. But I wasn't mad at the part that I enjoyed. Let's get into the next track. All right. Oh, what? Yeah. Nope, I'm getting too excited. I ain't mad at little Tjay either, Let me tell you right now, Tjay can't do no wrong at the moment. Lil Tjay's been on a great run. He even dropped a brand new song himself this week and is worth checking out. Tory Lanez and Lil Tjay link up quite nicely. The only thing I will have to say is that he speaks about selling dope like quite a few times between Dope Boy, the track before, and this one, and obviously selling dope out of Popeyes and stuff like that. That gets a bit long because we've heard it literally one track ago, so we don't need to hear that again. I feel like the first kind of like 4 5 for me was still better than what we've got so far. I feel myself slowly lulling a little bit, but let's see what we can do with the next couple of tracks, and let's see if it can pick me up again, because right now I'm enjoying it, but I'm starting to get a bit like I feel like Broken a Minute is basically the song that is supposed to be like clear the mosh, getting out of the mosh pit, and everyone jumps in. We're slowly getting to the halfway point now, and I'm kind of thinking, well, where is this tape gonna go? Because there's still 9 tracks left, and I'm kind of getting to the point now where I'm enjoying it, but I need some direction, like how the first 5 tracks were. Because on one of the other tracks that we already played, he mentions like coronavirus. So we know that some of these tracks have been recorded within the last, like, say, month. I'm liking the way this is starting, though. I'm liking the way this is starting. Halfway point on the tape, we get the track P.A.I.N, P.A.I.N, because it's got dots in between it. More of a vibe song. Like, again, there's not really much you can kind of react to in that one. It's more of a kind of deeper level thought one. You're kind of, you know, stuck. He's talking about his pain. I do like when certain artists, you know, when they're in their feels, but like even when they're writing it, they're probably in their feels as they're writing it, but then when they perform it well, you can kind of hear the pain a little bit in the song. And I do appreciate what Tory's trying to do. It's a nice way that's sitting in, and I think in the running of procedures, I probably would have pushed this up maybe to like track 5 or 6 before he got that melodic driven one that I spoke about earlier. I think I would have pushed it there because it works. It brings the energy back up a little bit, even though it's supposed to be a vibe track. But we're into the second half of this tape now. Let's see where we're gonna go, because like I said, where do we go from here? I'm pretty sure that's a film or a book or something, but we need to find a direction with this tape right now, because it's good, but is it just gonna be one of them ones where in about 2 weeks time it's just gonna be a shuffle thing? Because it's looking like that way right now. I ain't gonna lie, that bass in the background is kind of clean still. Yo, this song's too dope, you know? I can't even lie to you right now. This might be my favorite song of this whole tape. Track number 9 is Adidas. That's how we're saying it, yeah? Americans, Canadians, whatever. Not Adidas, Adidas, because we're in the UK right about now. It reminds me a little bit of like a J Hus kind of vibe. Now, again, it's Tory Lanez is doing this, but it's got that kind of feeling that the bass brings you into the track. The instrumentation is great on this one. I feel like this one is my track for I'm cruising late night, or I'm even walking home from the gym or something, and then this one comes on and you're like, yeah, I'm good. I'm actually good. You know what? I'm good. Yeah. How are you? I'm good. Like Adidas for me so far is one of my favorite tracks of this tape. And obviously out of the 9 tracks we've been through, most of them been rap. So maybe we're going to get melody driven songs more, but the switch ups that he did between in Adidas, so going from more like the rap heavy style to the singing more towards the end of the song, worked perfectly for me. Like, great blend. That's when we get the best Tory, when he can incorporate the rap side well, and his rapping has definitely improved, and the singing he always had in his locker anyway. So we're getting a really good body of work here, one that maybe needs to be on shuffle more so than like linear, but it's good nonetheless. Next track. This one sounds like he even needs Carlos Santana or Tiger, one of the two or both. More melodically driven. The guitar is what kind of drives through with this song, and it works quite nicely. A little bit more melody driven, more singing on this one. Enjoyable, it's good. I feel like this is one of them ones that will get lost in the album in the long run, but decent track. Let's get to the next one. Track number 11 is something that we already heard prior to the tape coming out. When that track first starts, I'm thinking it sounds like Broke Leg was like drop that, like it sounds a bit like that. So I was like, oh, we getting a replica. But then that was my first time when I first heard it, but then obviously it changes up slightly and then it works nicely. But we are so far deep in this project, and I'm waiting for the big song, the haymaker, because we got a tune called W that came out recently from Tory Lanez that I personally liked and thought was going to be on this tape. It doesn't seem to be on it. I don't think it will be. Maybe on a deluxe edition or something if he drops it in a couple weeks. But we haven't got that main haymaker that's going to make people in a year's time come back to this project and be like, I mess with it, because it's a solid body of work, but there is no banger off it right now. Track number 12 is Penthouse Red. It did drag on a little bit, but it's not a terrible song. I'm not looking at it like, what is this, bruv? What is this? It's not like that, but I feel like it feels more like a track 15 out of 16. It doesn't feel like, after getting like Adidas and that hyper and that sound, I feel like this is a bit of a lull. But if the rest of the tape is driven this same way, then I'm not mad at it, because it's like an introduction into it. Do you know what I mean? Track number 13 is another one of those cuts where, again, you sit back in your chair, you're thinking to yourself, rah, man's been through a few things, you know. And obviously he talks about his deal with Sean Kingston, which was the first deal that he ever got. Remember Sean Kingston about 10 years ago now? About 10 years ago, Beautiful Girls, all that type of thing. It was about 2008, I think that was. Sean Kingston was bigger than Tory Lanez. So he signed to him, didn't work out, and he kept it moving. And he kind of mentions that in the track. He also mentions something else, but he mutes the name. He does that little reverse type thing in there. So it locks it off, so we don't know exactly who's been giving him a bad deal, but maybe he's even talking about the Interscope deal. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. You know, obviously he's talking about being free, and the album didn't even come out at that point. So maybe it's one of them situations where he's getting back at people on the tape, but who knows? Because once you cover it up, you can't say. But I don't know if it's just me. But when I was listening to it, the actual instrumental sounds a bit like Alicia Keys' You Don't Know My Name, but it's been chopped up, sampled and flipped into a new beat. I could be off on that one, but it sounds like that to me. But anyway, let's get into the next track. Back in Business sounds like an intro that got scrapped by Tory instead of for Pricey and Spicy. I can't lie to you, I'm not that gassed on it. I'm not, because I already heard Pricey and Spicy, which was better. So this one for me is so far the one track that I'm like, nah, not feeling it. But for the rest of the album, it's been pretty decent, so I can't even be mad. You can't like every track on the album, do you know what I mean? For the penultimate track, D.N.D, which in my head is Disappointment Never Dies, it's similar to the last one. I don't really like it. It's a bit long. I feel like I'm happy though, because this is at the end of the album. You know, once there I could just skip, move to the end. You know what I mean? I go back to the beginning, because yeah, for me it wasn't hitting like that, and it just feels a bit forced at this point. I feel like this album could have easily been finished about 2 or 3 tracks even. Like, do you know what I mean? It could have been finished before this. I think like Adidas or like Do the Most kind of time, that bit, that's where the tape should have ended, on a very big high in my opinion. Final track, Message for God's Children, another deep kind of introspective thought process type style track. Decent. He's talking about being, you know, one of God's children, and he doesn't want to be preachy, but he's basically preaching. That's basically what he's doing. We come to the end of the album, and that was a decent outro, to say the least. I feel like, again, like I said, I'm being pessimistic now. We started on a very big high. We started way up there. Now we're dropping way far down. But that being said, that is the end of the review. I mean, do you know what? It was a very decent tape. I feel like it started powerfully into my vibe, and it slowly but surely started to die off. Adidas brought it back, and then it started to die off again. I feel like the album could have been 12 songs, mixtape, 12 songs in and out. I feel like 16 was maybe forcing it a little bit, but I appreciate that. Obviously, that's my opinion, and other people might like Penthouse Red and all them other songs, but for me, after Do the Most, I was like, yeah, man, I'm kind of done, you know. Yeah, I'm kind of done. I also think the album lacks features, and I'm like, most of the time, I like artists that you don't need features to make your stuff good, but a feature here or two makes it better. Unlike Rich the Kid's album, which had a pretty much feature almost on loads of songs, on more songs than had features than they didn't. I think with the Tory Lanez one, it would have been good to see some of the old faithful jumping on a few of the tracks, just to add a little extra something to make the songs special and memorable. It has no particular linear narrative either, but that's not the worst thing in the world. You can come back and shuffle. The first 5 tracks for me, and Adidas especially, probably my favorite tracks. But what are yours? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe. We're getting very close to 1,000 subscribers, and I appreciate everyone who's been subscribing over the last couple of months. That's another review done. Tory Lanez, this one, the new Toronto 3. I think I'll be listening to this one for a few more weeks still, but are you? Make sure you let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys for another review sometime soon. Peace.